DIY, so I'm reorganizing pretty much some of the electronic repairs. I have a couple of screws and parts, the disc ROM, DVD ROM, and the keyboard. Still need to go onto this, but just to kind of keep myself organized and things, I tested the Apple hard disk drive, and then I tested the hard disk drive. The Apple is 80 gigabytes. Well, somehow get stuff online with Windows updates and things like that. Um, so let's go ahead, and it's going to be a lot of crazy stuff inside with the keyboard, putting the keyboard away, tilting things around. Um, I looked for a little small magnet that I know that I had, but I think I have a small container or something to put these screws in the laptop. So I got most of the screws out. I counted 9 of them, but there's actually 11, or there's more than 9. So I put a couple of cleaning brushes. So now I just want to try to get a good pry tool. Use these. These are actually for the plugs on repair displays and stuff, or most of these are for smartphones and things. This is for so I gotta test out a few of these items, see where I could get a good pry tool. Then I gotta pry out the keyboard, so maybe I'll try this. So I got the laptop, a little bit more concentration, but also making up my own situation. This cardboard box with the edge, or it could be a wooden box, but it really helps to kind of prop things up towards me. Then I even have my own special tools that I find. This might be for like a windshield washer, and it's a metal, skinny metal, and it kind of works good. So just that mini metal tool. Then I go back to using the plastics. So I was able to unclip a few, just alternating which plastic, and just kind of going around where I got it open. So I got this one and that one, and then just trying to get this keyboard off a little bit. So I could kind of use the pry tool in combination with each other and stuff, but these pry tools might actually be really nice for just what they were for, is for thermal paste. There's just kind of a softer flex to it. So kind of got a little so just I kind of held up with one finger and then just swiped with this plastic one. And there's gonna be, these are for, supposed to, it's like a plastic crowbar. Okay, so I was actually supposed to pull up on the green piece and detach the keyboard. So this is some progress that I could access, but what's going to happen is, and here's another screw, and so I guess one of these screws, so you see I could remove this part. It's actually held onto by a clip, and then there might be a plug that this plugs. So this could always kind of be swapped out somehow, or there's a spot for the screw, but I really don't see. It's probably this screw right here that holds it down. So with that in the plug, so clean this off and put it inside of a cleaning area. So I guess I'm going to put most of the parts right in this box, just because I don't want to lose track of too much, I think. And it'll fit basically somewhere that fits the parts. And the same thing with this, just kind of give it a clean and then put it in there. Alright, didn't really have anywhere flat to put this, but pretty cool. Of progress. And there's 2 little screws right here that I didn't see. So once I remove that, I'll be able to pry this open. So these screws are really short, and they go into a different pile, I guess. And the spatula is still wedged in there, so I could probably use either or in any of these pry tools. And then probably grab a flashlight to kind of see the location of cables. And there's a battery cable, and you know kind of it's got a piece of electrical tape on it and things like that. So I gotta just see what's going on with and also, and it's just a regular flex ribbon situation. I tried to so this was actually throwing off a small error. So it's just because it really isn't that great of a design being the inside. And then now I just have to clean up this outer case or this outer shell. Hopefully, using the same technique with just the cleaning cloth and stuff. So I'm gonna actually just put the tape onto what I have so that it doesn't fall apart. Eventually, I'm probably gonna get some more pieces of tape. So got a roll of tape out, and I'm actually just trying to tape down this whatever I have. But yeah, the piece of tape is a little bit too big. There's a QR code and stuff, but I'm just going to use it as a whole piece that I cut. So, and then this could definitely be a few more other things later on with these tools. With tools, basically, just those regular Phillips. Maybe try to clean up a few things and organize it before I put things away. So it's a final kind of so I cleaned up as much as I could. There's a bottle of cleaner and stuff cleaned up. Oh, you just have to plug this in to see if anything happens. That's the situation with and it's just different storages and device workload and stuff. I've had all types, so I could kind of test, well, not test, but just clean off even the RAM and things, just to double check and restore some things. But I'm probably going to have to need the boot disk. If I reinstall the hard disk drive, find all the screws that I really need and stuff like that. I'm really going to, like kind of tighten down a few of these screws. The thing is on to like hard drives and memories, but so instead of the 500 gigabyte hard disk drive, which this is going to be, just because I have this converter situated, this is a 1 terabyte and stuff, which I'm going to test to see if it works. Bring this over here, even turning the hard drive around. So I plugged everything in, and I did hear this hard drive running on the battery, and you see this? It's got all these extra SD card, Windows, Lenovo, and stuff like that. So I think it works. So then now see if anything happens. That's the situation with and it's just different storages and devices. I could go back to SD card, 64 gigabytes Windows. It's not set up right. So that's the situation with thing. I mean, I'm probably sure that's how things are, but I'm just not going to do that. This only has 7.2 gigabytes or it doesn't have that much memory. So this says Windows storage 0 bytes total. Same thing with this other storage. So there's some information that I've got to redirect to and stuff, but so unplugging this blue light. This is actually underneath the shield. There's a few screws, just actually 1, 2 screws. So let's go ahead and put back the cover and do a small cleanup of the hard disk drive. And it's just like the screwdriver, and then I put the hard disk drive somewhere just when I just had it in my hand, and now it's just like, you know, situated somewhere that I just don't see it. One last time, you know, just mainly hand tightened it, you know, just stuff that's not going to get, just some extra fabrics and things. And yeah, just making sure I don't get too many awkward fingerprints. And basically just install those screws. You know, I could pretty much just kind of, I might have to, I want to try to swap out this lithium, but that's not really giving a problem or anything. It's just mainly the battery kind of wire that I did try to fix a little bit. But what I'm going to just do is just screw back in this hard drive. And I might have to order that 500 gigabyte external just in case, after, you know, just to move things around before I, you know, that until I get a really dependable system. A lot of just have to plug this in to see if anything happens. That's the situation with and it's, you know, just different storages and devices. I could go back to SD card, 64 gigabytes Windows. It's not set up right. So that's the situation with just DIY hacks in general and compatibility wise. I would actually have to clear whatever I have on there and probably have to set it up with this phone specifically. But that's pretty cool. I could kind of hear the hard disk drive running. Kind of hear that, and then the whole situation is detecting the overall. But I'm going to just unplug it, and then you know, took off the flex ribbon. So I'm going to try to plug in the special adapter. I didn't have to take off the shield, so I'll probably put that back on and then plug it in and see if the converter works. And right off the back, I could pretty much say that it's not going to work if the plug doesn't fit correctly. What's going on with what's happening? I've got three and things. It's really, I was expecting a 6 gigabyte. Here's a spare battery, or you know, a clock battery, stuff like that. SD card, you know, fans. Isn't that great of a design, being that it's not screwed in or things like that. So I put in all types of. This is 2 gigabytes RAM, so there's probably, well, I don't really see another RAM stick, so this might just be only a 2 gigabyte. The thing is, I read online, and this could